Denver Broncos show, back here again, here to give you guys my game recap for the Broncos 38-24 win over the Oakland Raiders on Sunday. We moved to 3-5 on the year with this win. This was an awesome feeling to see the Broncos finally get a win over the Raiders. It's been now 4 games that we haven't beat them going in this game, and to finally beat them for the first time in 4 games is just a great feeling. It was a great team win, great performance, and that's some of the good things we did in this game. Obviously, we scored 38 points. Anytime you score that many points against any team, you're going to have a pretty good shot at winning. We had 412 total yards of offense. It was good to finally see this offense, which has been sputtering over the past couple weeks, finally show some life and actually play well against a very solid Oakland Raiders defense. I was really impressed with the offense, and I thought they really came to life in that second half. We had 299 rushing yards here against the Raiders. We really beat up the Raiders physically in this game. I thought our offensive line really took it to the Raiders defensive line, and that was something in the first game that wasn't the case at all. In the first game, the Raiders D-line had their way with our offensive line. Completely different story here with our O-line really kind of beating up the Raiders D-line here, and that led to us obviously having 299 rushing yards in this game. We averaged 7.9 yards per carry, which is just insane. And we had 12 rushing first downs in this game. We just really run the ball with great effect, and a lot of that has to do with our O-line. Our O-line only gave up 2 sacks as well. I thought this was one of the better played games this year from this offensive line group. I know I've been banging on them all year, but you got to give J.D. Walton, Zane Beadles, Chris Cooper, Ryan Clady, and Orlando Franklin a lot of credit. I thought they did a great job in this game, not only in the pass protection, but in the run blocking game, and you got to give them all the credit in the world. Ryan Clady had a couple holding calls, but besides that, pretty nice outing from our offensive line here against the Oakland Raiders. Had 0 turnovers in this game. That was a big plus. That was good to see. Tebow, I thought, took care of the ball. We didn't have a bunch of fumbles this game. We had 5 fumbles in the game against Detroit. Good to see we kind of cleaned that up here against the Raiders. Really the reason we win this game is the second half. I thought we made so many good adjustments coming out of halftime, and it really showed. We outscored the Raiders 31-7 in the second half. That's huge. I mean, we dominated the Raiders in the second half. I thought our defense had, made a lot of good adjustments coming out of halftime and just shut down the Raiders in that third and fourth quarter, especially the fourth quarter. I also thought our third down defense was pretty darn good here against the Raiders. The Raiders were only 4 of 12 on their third down conversion, so our third down defense was very solid in this game. And we also had 3 turnovers in this game. That was a big plus for us. Champ Bailey had 2 interceptions, and Chris Harris had 1 of his own. I thought we did a great job of forcing turnovers, getting our offensive ball back. Now looking at some of the bad things we did in this game, defensively, like I said, we had a great second half. We made a lot of good adjustments, but we still gave up 416 total yards of offense to the Raiders offense, and that was without Darren McFadden, so that number probably would have been a lot higher and a little more higher than it was with Darren McFadden. The Raiders had 316 passing yards, 100 rushing yards in this game. Really had no problem moving the ball down the field, and they put 24 on us, so you'd like to see the defense play better, but the second half we really shut that Oakland Raiders offense down, especially in the... Another thing we did bad in this game, it's something that's kind of plagued our defense all year, is once again we gave up a lot of big plays through the air. Oakland had a pretty good day passing the ball down the field. You look at some of the passing plays they had. They had a 40, 34, 28, 24, 23, and 22-yard catch and pass play in this game. Just gave up way too many big plays through the air, and we kind of made we made a average receiving core look great in Oakland. I think Oakland's got a lot of talented young wide receivers, but for the most part, I think they're an average receiving core, and we made them look good here. So I thought our coverage, once again, kind of hindered us in this game. We had 11 penalties in this game for 93 yards. You don't like that. A lot of those were holding penalties. A couple of them came on Ryan Clady, who just kind of had a tough start to this game and played average in this game. But a lot of those penalties were holding calls, but luckily for us, the Raiders had 15 penalties of their own for 130 yards, so they kind of canceled each other. We kind of canceled each other out there. We once again kind of struggled on our third down offense and our third down conversions. We were only 3 and 12 on our third down conversions. That's something that desperately needs to improve, is our efficiency on third downs. And once again, we really didn't move the ball very effectively through the air. We only had 113 passing yards, but with the day we had rushing the ball, it really didn't matter. But I would like to see our passing game start to get going a little bit. I would like to see Mike McCoy kind of unleash Tebow a little bit, and maybe call some vertical passing plays and let Tebow throw the ball down the field. So Those are a couple of the bad things he did, but overall just a really great performance by us and a great team win. This win feels really good, and it's probably the best win of the year for us so far. Looking at some individual performances here, got to start with Tim Tebow. I thought Tebow was very good in this game. He goes 10 of 21 for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions for him in this game. He ends up finishing with a QB rating of 98.1. He also had 12 carries in this game for 118 yards. He averaged about 9.8 yards per carry. Just a real efficient performance from Tebow. I thought his accuracy was a lot better in this game. There's still some, errant throws by him. The accuracy is still an issue. You would like to see him get rid of the ball a little quicker. He holds on the ball a little long still, but I thought in this game he was better at that. He was getting rid of the ball quicker. He was feeling the pressure better, and his pocket presence was a lot better in this game than it has been in the prior two. And he was an efficient passer. The throw to Decker over the middle was a great throw, and the read by him on the touchdown pass to Eddie Royal, that throw was a dart. I mean, that was a beautiful throw, had a ton of zip on it. He threw it on a rope. That was probably the best throw of the day from Tebow, was the touchdown pass to Royal. And he was, great running the ball, made some plays with his legs, did a good job avoiding the pressure that the Raiders were getting on him, and like I said, had 118 yards on the ground and averaged about 10 yards per carry in this game. And really the thing that was so effective for us was the read option, and that's the reason that we had so many rushing yards, because we ran the read option with such great effect here. And Tebow did a great job of holding the Raiders defense with the read option and just holding that ball to the last second and then taking it out and turning it upfield for some big gains. And then that read option really kind of invigorated our offense, if you will, rejuvenated our offense, and that's what kind of sparked our offense in the second half. And I thought Tebow did a brilliant job of running the read option. But there's still questions about Tebow. He needs to be more consistent. We all know that. But I thought this was his best game so far, and we saw a pretty consistent outing by Tebow. I thought he played 3 really good quarters of football, and I like what I saw out of Tim in this game. Willis McGahee, great to have him back. He had an amazing game here. 20 carries for Willis for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's great to finally have a running back here in Denver that runs between the tackles, is a physical runner that always keeps their legs turning. You saw Willis made a lot of great runs in this game, and he just wouldn't go down. Every time the Raiders would have 3 or 4 guys on him, he just kept his legs turning and got that extra yard or two. He had a big 60-yard touchdown run there in the third quarter, and had a 24-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to kind of seal the win for us. And it was great to have him back. He's having a stellar year, and it's great to kind of have that downhill runner, if you will, that in between the tackles running back. And him and Tebow were just phenomenal running the read option, as I mentioned before. And just, our offensive line did a phenomenal job of giving Willis gaps to hit and go through, and Willis was phenomenal. Like I said, he just would not go down, and it's great to have that type of back here. We haven't had that type of back here in a while, at least haven't had that type of back that's been as effective as Willis has so far, and he's playing great. And I think Noshawn Moreno's days in Denver are probably numbered because of the play of Willis McGahee. You look at what some of our receivers did. Eric Decker with another great outing. We're kind of seeing Eric Decker flourish into a star right before our eyes. He had 3 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown in this game. I thought he was phenomenal. The throw and catch from Tebow to him for the touchdown was great. Demaryius Thomas had 1 catch for 29 yards. You'd like to see Demaryius get a little more involved with the offense. Hopefully we can do that within the next couple weeks as he gets healthier and gets more comfortable with Tebow and within the offense. Look at what Eddie Royal did. 2 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown for Eddie Royal. This is one of his better games of the year. He had that 85-yard punt return for a touchdown in the third quarter that just kind of ignited our team. And it was great to see Eddie make an impact, and the punt return touchdown was huge for us, and he was phenomenal in this game. Like I said, the throw from Tebow to Royal on the touchdown pass was just a dart by Tim Tebow to Royal, probably his best throw of the game. And now looking at what some of our guys did defensively in this game, Chris Harris with another great outing. He had 11 tackles in this game and the interception as well for him. He's played great, and for being an undrafted free agent, the guy's had a great impact on our team and our defense so far. He had another great outing. Quentin Carter, good game for him. 9 tackles, was pretty solid in this game. Brian Dawkins, 6 tackles for him. Von Miller, another stellar game for him. He had 5 tackles, half a sack in this game, and he had 3 QB hits on Carson Palmer. He actually forced one of Carson Palmer's 3 interceptions in this game when he hit him, and Palmer was forced to get rid of the ball quicker than he wanted to, and Champ ended up coming up with interception. Vaughn set that up, and he only had half a sack in this game, but in reality he probably should have had 2 or 3. They were just near sacks. He was just a little late getting there, but his pressure on Carson Palmer was great all day, and like I said, he forced the interception, one of Carson Palmer's 3 interceptions. You look at what Elvis Dumervil did. It was great to see Elvis Dumervil finally have an impactful game. 3 tackles, a sack and a half for Elvis Dumervil in this game. Should have had a couple more, but him and Vaughn were just phenomenal. And it was great to see Elvis finally play well and finally make an impact. Like I said, he had a sack and a half in this game, getting on the board for the first time of the year in the sack column for Elvis Dumervil here, and he was phenomenal. I was pressuring Palmer all day, and Von Miller and Elvis Dumervil made Palmer's life quite tough in this game, especially in that second half. Champ ended up having 2 tackles and 2 interceptions in this game. I believe Champ Bailey also got his 50th career interception this game, so congrats to Champ Bailey on that. Guy is a consummate professional and is one of the best players to ever, play the cornerback position, let alone put on a Broncos jersey. It definitely will be a Hall of Famer when his playing days are done. But he was phenomenal in this game, and like I said, I don't get what Palmer was trying to do, trying to pick on Champ Bailey. And one of those 2 picks by Champ, as I mentioned before, was forced on Von Miller pressure of Palmer. So that's my recap, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Great win for us, probably the best win of the year, to go into Oakland, finally beat them for the first time in 4 games, end that 4-game losing streak to them, and beat them in their own field, and beat them badly, and really beat them up physically, and beat them up front like we did. It was just great to watch. It was a great feeling. Tebow had a good game. Willis had a good game. The defense played great in the second half, and it was just a real team win, and hopefully we can build on this now. We're 3-5 now. We're only 1 game out of the division lead. The Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs are all 4-4, so it's good to finally be a Bronco fan and see our team having something to play for. We're not out of this. Our season is definitely still intact. It's not over yet, and this game against the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday is probably the biggest game of the season for us. If we win that, we move to 4-5. And the Chargers and Raiders play each other on Thursday Night Football. One of them's got to lose. If we beat the Chiefs, they lose. We'll be right there in second place with a big home game against the Jets next week, and we can win that. Who knows what can happen. So these next 2 games for the Broncos are huge. I see it as if we win both, we're in perfect position to contend for the division title and possibly make the playoffs. If we go 1-1 in these next 2 games against the Chiefs and Jets, we still have a shot to win our division. But if we lose the next 2, our season's over. In my opinion, we'll be 3-7. We'll pretty much be out of it. So the Broncos, it's good to finally have our team play for something, and have something to play for, and be in the race for the division title for the first time in a while. So big game this week against the Chiefs. Great win over the Raiders. Hopefully we can play this well against the Chiefs, get a huge win, and hopefully contend for that division title and inch even closer to taking the lead. So that's my video, guys. Thank you for watching as always. Thanks for the support as always. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and as always, go Broncos.